Hey everybody, my name is Yev. For those who don't know me, yes, my name is Yev. And I was thinking about something yesterday, all day yesterday, and I couldn't figure out the answer to it. A specific, simple answer to it. Actually, for the first time, I ended up recording this for the second time. So I recorded it earlier today, which is why I haven't posted it. Well, now you're hearing it. It's posted already. But it was a question that I asked myself when I was younger, and it's not a question that I really question myself now. I believe as you grow older, you understand things differently, the value of something. Many times when we're young, the value of money may not be there because our parents either give it to us or we don't have a job and understand the full extent of it. So we're not talking about money anymore because that was yesterday. The question I want to ask you that you may at one point have asked yourself is, why am I still doing what I'm doing? Why am I still at church? It could be the question that has crossed your mind. Why am I still playing an instrument? And I want to simplify it as simple as I possibly can. Again, meditating and thinking about something throughout the day, in other words, in the Word of God, God answers. And I was like, wow, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And it was actually through hearing what I was already explaining that I sat down. I usually don't hear what I record right after. And I sat down because I had some time. And I heard it. And I was just like, all right. And I'm about to post it up. And it's like, and like God put something else in my heart. It's the same thing, but He says no. This I want you to say this. I want you to say it like this, and I want to make sure I stick to what exactly He put in my heart to say. So the question is, I'm gonna start off with this: why is it that I'm still doing what I'm doing? Why am I still at church? Why haven't I wanted to quit? Or these thoughts come to mind. But the reasoning behind why I keep doing what I'm doing was the question I asked myself. You may be asking this question yourself, and in order for me to be able to offer you something of understanding, I first need to understand it myself. I can't tell you something that I haven't understood a complete to have a complete understanding. So, what is it to fear the Lord? And we're going to explain that in a little bit. When I was a kid, I prayed for green eyes, wisdom, and to grow taller. If you ask my parents, you ask my wife, I was short. Yeah, I was afraid. No joke. I was small, 65 pounds my high school year, 4'10". Everyone was taller than me. I was very small. And I'm not exaggerating at any point. 65 pounds, 4'10". Senior year, I was 4'2", 105, 106 pounds. Yes, I was small. Does that have anything to do with what I'm talking about? And partially, yeah, because it was a struggle that I faced personally with my personal, the way I saw myself, small. Oh my gosh, all the girls are taller than me. And it would upset me. I'm a guy, and all the girls are taller than me. It's not cool. But since I'm telling you, since I was a kid, it was something I prayed for, and it was for green eyes. And for those who do know, you could argue it all you want. I do have green eyes. No, they're not the prettiest green eyes, but the outer rim of my eye is actually green. If you want to confirm it, you could confirm it with the wife. Okay, or I could even show you a picture that I took one time of my eye. Anyways, that's not the point, but it's part of it. It's a struggle, as kids. We want to, fit in. We don't want to be the one smallest kid in the team and stuff like that. Our personal, the way we see ourselves. Yeah, so it's a struggle. The third one I prayed for was for wisdom. yeah, I remember hearing the story of King Solomon, and the one thing out of everything and anything he would have asked for, could have asked for, he asked for wisdom. I was like, dang, man. Like, if I had one wish, what would it be? I wish for world peace. I mean, for yourself, what would it be? For me, I was so shocked and amazed with the story that since that time I heard it, I didn't stop. I like religiously, like every single day, Father Lord Almighty, I pray for wisdom that you give it to me. There's being intelligent, but I prefer wisdom. Wisdom above everything else. Let me grow. Let me have green eyes. Yeah, that's what I prayed for. Silly, you may laugh, but God knows the desires of each person's heart, and yeah, you're probably laughing. Yes, I know. Let's move on. The story of Job is a great example of understanding the troubles and hardships. You may realize, like, oh man, this instrument's way too hard. I don't want to mention any particular instrument because they're all difficult in their own way. And you're like, oh, I really don't want to do this anymore. I'm sick and tired. I'm just tired. You may have questioned yourself already. You may encounter this in the future where you're just like, that's it. I don't want to do this anymore. I just don't. I'm just tired of it. And you may make excuses. It's just too hard. It's just too much commitment. It's just like it's taking away time from me being playing my video games or some soccer or spending time with my friends. Just like not cool, man. It's just like, you know what? I did that. I'm cool. I don't want to do it anymore. What is it as a kid myself who played an instrument, drums, for such a long time, went to church, and I kept asking myself this question: what kept me at church? What kept me motivated to keep on going? And I couldn't find a single answer until this morning. I, I I couldn't. Yes, I love the Lord and all this awesome stuff, but I couldn't find or pinpoint a particular thing that motivated me and helped me understand why I kept going to church. A lot of my friends that went left church. They 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 were people who prayed and were baptized by the Holy Spirit right next to me. And to this day, they don't go anymore. They had the experience, they had the motivation to continue to go. It was all there, and I see their life now, and it's not easy. It's not something that they're struggling with now. I don't want to give the details of it, but I've noticed that friends that have left church have struggled in many different areas of their life. And I asked myself, what kept me there? Papa Chewy, Papa Chewy, what kept me at church? What kept me motivated to keep moving? Was it my beautiful wife that I saw her? I was like, hola Claudia, yo soy Jeffrey Moreno. What was it that kept me there? No, it wasn't Claudia, unfortunately, as beautiful as she may be. It wasn't that, because even in the sense of how amazing a wife she is and a friend she was, to be honest with you, we both realized we didn't know that we were going to end up with each other. So I can tell you off the bat, it wasn't something that kept me there. And I know for a lot of people, a lot of guys or a lot of girls, it's like, oh, I'm going to church because, man, there's a pretty girl there. It was the motivation for them. For me, it wasn't. I just went because, and I'll get there. Don't worry. And again, going back to the example of Job, it was a story that if you think your life is hard and troubling and difficult, you realize and you see the life of Job and what he went through. If those who don't know it, read his story, okay? The hardship he went through makes our life looks like a piece of cake. So the verse I got was actually from the book of Job that helped me understand the reasoning why I continue to do what I do. And I'll get there. Okay? The foundation of every beginning. Okay? There is a time in everyone's life where you want to quit. And I said this already. And I've mentioned that the foundation to every beginning and how we begin, we need to have a solid foundation. So when the troubles come, when the issues, when the questions, when the doubt, when we start saying things like, oh man, there's so much drama at church, I don't want to be there anymore. My friends, or the person I call my friend is like just talking behind my back. My gosh, like I don't want to be there, Dad. Like no, I don't want to go. I don't want to deal with it. This is just too much drama. Let's just move to like another state, like Texas or something like that. The time away from friends, family, that sometimes we have to make a sacrifice from, the things that we have to do just to be able to do what we do at church. And to be honest with you, it's a struggle that I face. You guys are amazing angels. I know you guys want to be there all the time, 24/7. Me, on the other hand, when I was younger, I was just like, I was struggling with it. That was a struggle that I went through, and a question that I question myself constantly. Like, why am I here? My parents aren't at church. My brothers aren't at church. It was me, and I was just like, what do? Well, I can go and no one's going to tell me anything. I was 18, 19 at the time, had my own car, was independent, and I was just like, hey, why not? But something kept me there. Something kept me there. And I go back to the beginning, where there's a foundation to every beginning. And I realized that I was asking for wisdom. Now, putting aside those other two silly things that I prayed for, even though as silly as they were sincere. I prayed for wisdom. And wisdom is something that, oh, wow, you can't begin to understand the extent of the wisdom of God. And I came across this verse, and before I go, this is, there's a time in everyone's life where you want to quit. And when that crosses your mind, what do you do? Okay, so keep that in mind. There's a time in everyone's life. There's a time in my life, in a big period of my life, where I wanted to quit. And then there's times, actually still now to this day, that I want to quit many different things. And I just find the value of something is more important, and I understand it more than I understood it back then. But I want you to understand this and ask yourself this question when you come across yourself saying, I want to quit. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to go to church, or I don't want to play this instrument anymore. I want you to ask yourself this question. What is the fear of the Lord? It says, when it crosses your mind, what is the fear of the Lord? Okay? And it's in Job 28:28. Okay? It says, and he said to man, well, he said to me this morning, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. And to turn away from evil is understanding. I'm going to say it to you several times, because when I first read it, I was just like, okay. And I read it in different versions, and this one's in his BSB version. I read it like 3, 4, 5 different versions, and I just like, I don't get it. What is it? What are you trying to tell me? And he said to man, behold, the fear of the Lord. Many people think that being afraid of God that's what it's trying to say. Fear the Lord, I say, upon you. No, fear the Lord. He doesn't want you to pray to him. He doesn't want you to worship him in fear. Like, I go to church because if I don't go to church, I'm going to go to hell. That is not the mentality of fearing the Lord. That is the last thing he wants. He wants you to do things out of love, not out of fear. Okay? But understanding what the fear of the Lord is, and it says, that is wisdom. Understanding the value of something that can only come from God, only comes from the wisdom of God. Okay? I'm really hoping you understand this, and I don't want you to think that fearing the Lord is having to do to be in part, like saying like, oh, I'm afraid in back of your head because I don't want to go to hell. A lot of people go to church or serve God in fear that they're going to hell. I want to go to heaven, and that's why I'm serving. No, we are saved by his grace, not by our actions, not by what we do. We are saved by his grace. Understand that. But I want to go back and focus on this again. And he said to man, and I know I'm saying it over and over again. It's just, I just want to get it stuck in your head. I want you to think about it yourself when you're thinking about this question. It says, and he said to man, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. And to turn away from evil is understanding, because wisdom helps you understand how to turn away from what is not right, helps you make those choices that you need to make. Why am I still here? Ask God for wisdom. Give Him the best that you can, but understand that asking for wisdom is a good foundation. And I didn't realize that since I was a kid. I was asked for it day and day and day. It was like, and I'm waiting for wisdom, and I'm waiting for wisdom, and I'm waiting for wisdom to come across a situation that I could be like, yes, I have wisdom. And I realized that I had it all along. I had the fear of the Lord, which is a representation of wisdom. And He said to men, I'm going to say it again, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. So to answer the question, why is it that I do what I do? It's because I fear the Lord. Because God's given me wisdom to understand what is right, what is wrong, what is valuable in life. And that is wisdom. Wisdom that can only come from the Lord Almighty. Wisdom that takes me away and pulls me away from evil. The life of Job, he was upset, he was mad, he was angry, but he knew, he had the fear of the Lord that kept him continually moving forward, regardless of the situation, regardless of the hardship, regardless of what he went through. He knew that having the fear of the Lord was important. He knew that it would pull him away from evil. And turn away from evil is understanding. Understanding is wisdom. Yes, I know. It's already 16 minutes. I apologize. It's just something that was for me, and I wanted to share with you guys this personal answer question that I was thinking about all day yesterday, because I couldn't pinpoint one thing, and God answered my prayer, my thoughts, my question. What kept me there? And He answered me. He said, the fear of the Lord, the wisdom that you prayed when you were a kid and you kept asking me for. I gave it to you. This is my gift to you, the wisdom to keep you away from turning away from me, the fear of the Lord. And it wasn't because I was afraid. It wasn't because I thought I was going to go to hell. No, it was because I understand now that the value of being part of a family, being part of church, being part of service is something that allows me to continue to move forward stronger each and every day. And that's what I want you guys to understand. When you ask yourself that question, when you feel like you're going to quit, when you say, I don't want to do this anymore, ask yourself, the fear of the Lord is in me. And I know that He will give me the strength and the wisdom to continue to move forward, because the grace and the love that God has poured upon you is something that's so amazing that you cannot allow Satan to take away from you. You can't allow him to say, I want that. And that's exactly what he wants to take away from you. He wants to take you away from the grace and the love and the potential and the gift that God has given you to be able to continue to move forward, to continue to bless other lives. And that's exactly what he wants to do. He wants to add that thought in your mind of quit, quit, quit. It's no longer something that you need to do. You've done it, you've been there, you've done that. Let's move along. Let's take you away from it. No, that's what Satan wants to put in your mind. Okay, so don't allow him to put that thought, that seed in your mind, and say, God, I give this brain, I give my heart, I give my spirit, and let it be your will and not mine. And understand me, help me understand your wisdom, help me understand the fear of the Lord that you have placed upon me to be able to continue to move forward without allowing me to have these doubts in my mind that regardless if I do, I will say no more, nuh-uh, uh-uh. Okay? I love you guys. Take care.